He stood in line just like everyone else, quiet, patient, and holding a check that represented decades of service to his country. But when the teller saw his skin and uniform cap, she didn't see honor. She saw inconvenience. With a fake smile and an arrogant flick of her wrist, she tore the check in half and laughed. The room froze. People watched. Phones came out. But what no one realized was who this man really was and who was already watching the cameras. What happens when the forgotten man isn't so forgotten after all? Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Mr. Samuel Bryant was a decorated military veteran who had served for over 30 years. After retiring, he lived a quiet life in a small town, never asking for much, never making a fuss. Every first Monday of the month, he'd walk to the local bank to cash his veteran's pension check, always dressed in a faded uniform cap and polished shoes. It was his way of honoring the life he had given to protect others. The tellers usually treated him with polite indifference, but he never minded. He came for his check, not their respect. But on this day, there was a new face behind the glass, and she had no intention of showing courtesy, especially not to someone she had already made assumptions about. She didn't recognize the name. She didn't care about the uniform. And what happened next would change the atmosphere of that bank forever. As Samuel stepped up to the window, he greeted the teller with a warm smile and handed her the signed check. She glanced at it, then looked at him, her eyes narrowing. Without even scanning it, she scoffed. "We don't cash fake checks," she said under her breath, loud enough for the next customer to hear. Samuel calmly replied, "That's my retirement check. I've been cashing it here for 12 years. She rolled her eyes, looked around dramatically, then held up the check, and with one sharp motion tore it down the center. A gasp rippled through the line. Someone pulled out their phone and started recording. Samuel didn't say a word. He just looked at the torn check, then slowly turned and walked toward the exit. But what the teller and everyone else didn't know was that this bank branch had recently been flagged for discriminatory incidents by a federal agency. And Samuel? He wasn't just a veteran. He was now a covert federal compliance auditor placed to test how institutions treat minorities, especially elderly veterans of color. The moment he stepped outside, he tapped a number on his phone. 3. Black SUVs were already parked across the street. Within minutes, a wave of agents in suits walked calmly through the front doors, flashing badges and asking for the branch manager. The bank lobby exploded into chaos. Customers froze. Employees whispered nervously. The teller who tore the check tried to hide behind the counter, but it was too late. The agents pulled up footage, reviewed witness statements, and began interviewing staff. One officer opened a folder with records of previous complaints this branch had ignored. The manager, pale and sweating, stammered through excuses, but none of it mattered. Samuel stood silently near the door, arms crossed. The same people who looked through him minutes ago now looked at him with fear and awe. And when one agent said, "We've seen enough," the teller's face crumbled. In that single moment, justice didn't knock. It walked straight in, dressed in honor and carrying a badge. The branch was shut down temporarily for internal review. The teller was suspended immediately. The corporation released a formal apology, both to Samuel and the community. But more importantly, the video of the incident went viral, not because of the scandal, but because of Samuel's silence, his calm dignity, his refusal to react in anger. That moment became a mirror, forcing people to examine what quiet injustice looks like. The truth is, some battles are still being fought, not on foreign soil, but right at home, in lobbies, lines, and laws. Samuel didn't need to shout. His presence said it all. How many more Samuels will it take for people to see past skin, past age, past assumption, and finally recognize the truth? Tell us in the comments what city and country you're watching from. This story matters everywhere. Take care.